Not exactly what you'd call a tactical genius. I see my troops over here, the enemy troops over there, and then we charge. But what I am is a history nerd. Today we're going to be going through historical manuscript and treaties of war to see if they'll help me in Bannerlord. We are going to be doing this in the campaign, in the Bannerlord campaign, which means that if I lose a single battle, I'm back to square one. We're going to start out using peasants and going all the way up to using full armies with archers and cavalry units to see if historical manuscripts can help me in a video game. Maybe, I think battalions, because we're going to need to use a lot of forest. I'm going to shut my eyes, and this is our ultimate general. This is our ultimate general. This is absolutely going to be our ultimate general. Well, not him, he's too short. This one, 100%. This one, this one, this one. There you go, that's a mustache. Okay, we need as much charm and leadership as possible. Leadership skills, works. Work to the caravans, that's fine. Gives me some charm, unless there's something better. Yes, there is. Study with private tutor. Scouting and tactics would be good as well, actually. Yeah, this one's good. Save a city quarter from fire. That's going to be leadership and tactics. Obviously, we organized the travelers to break out. All right, our name is going to be Alexander Hannibal. Right, we are going to switch to Bannerlord difficulty. So instead of it being, you know, easier, this is going to be realistic because again, we're trying to. My PC ran out of space to record. That was not very. That was not foresight from me. Brother. All right, so our name is Alexander Hannibal Ibn Walid Bonaparte. There you go. That's the name of a general. We need something now. There was one. God, why can't I remember his name? Let me refer to my source sheet. There you go. Ordenanzas de la Hamadan. Right. You need to make sure that your troops can see your banner and they have to obey it at all times. So this one, because it's like waving hello to them. Let's make sure it's really obvious. There you go. Okay, first things first, we are going to be going for peasants. So I was looking for some historical literature that would take me through how to fight with peasants. And generally, the sources agreed, they suck. Okay, but I do have some that I'm going to kind of use. The first is going to be from Maurice. You'll see a lot of Byzantine influence here. They used to just record their stuff a lot in terms of the medieval era. Maurice, in his Strategikon, which I will refer to a lot in this video, use the ground as an ally if your troops are inferior. And these are recruits, so they're going to be pretty inferior. Vegetius, 4th century. This is all going to be in the description, by the way, if you want to read any of this. In Dere Militarii, I think. Do not break ranks. And then Maurice again. Keep close together. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep them close together. We're not going to break ranks. And if we're fighting an opponent of superior quality, we're going to try and break up their organization with our, with like careful selection of terrain. Alexander Hannibal is such a cursed name. Okay, so first we need some recruits. Actually, we should probably do this. Viral, very important. We definitely need experienced early troops because a lot of these guys are going to die. I originally was going to do this in like sandbox mode, but I thought to myself, I want there to be actual stakes for losing, and we probably will lose a lot. So a bad battle is really going to set us back nastily. I don't want to take the Imperial Vigor recruits just yet. Okay, we'll ignore that as well. Okay, we have 18 or so peasant troops. So let's go and find some looters. Only a few generals got started this way. To be fair, it's not that far off of what Genghis Khan started with. Obviously, he wasn't the most phenomenal general out there, but he was still very, very competent. Ah, party's starving. Oh, I didn't look up anything for logistics. I'm focusing on battles. I don't need to look up sources for logistics. Hey, guess what? Sources, I made it up. Feed your troops. In my head, I'm like, oh, I have to have a source for this because I've been like doing it too academically. You need to have a source for feeding your army. I think that's pretty universal. That's why there's not as much on like how to use peasant levies. You know, you just generally don't do it. I mean, to be fair, there are a lot of cases. There's the Battle of Hemingstad where a bunch of troops. I want to get this right. There you go. Battle of Hemingstad. I was right. 6,000 peasants were up against 2,000 armed cavaliers, 1,000 artillerymen, 5,000 commoners, and 4,000 mercenaries. The peasants lost 60 troops. The nobles lost 7,000. They used looters. They used a ditch and made sure they fall into them. There's a lot of that, right? Generally speaking, in the medieval era, use a ditch, right? Just you should. Now, I am not going to be fighting in the dark because I need to get this right. So I'm going to hound this guy into the corner. Okay, so keep close together. Don't break ranks. that's going to be our plan. Usually, I F1, F3 this, you know? Gather the boys, send them out. But we're going to try and do this properly. Okay, here we go. So, we want to... I've never actually done this before. Okay, shield wall, most likely. F8. We don't have, like, a fantastic amount of things here. What's the difference between F2 and... Okay, these are the different formations. So, shield wall or a line. Probably a shield wall is our best bet. I'm not sure what the difference is between a line. That's a little bit more spread out. Okay, but we don't want that. We want to stay as close together as possible. F8. And we want them ideally to approach us... Okay, they're coming from there. Up here. It's a little bit dark, isn't it? Oh, they're not exactly being quick, are they? How do I get you to face the enemy? How do I get you to face the enemy? F7. There we go. Right. So we have the advantage of terrain, and we're keeping close together. That's all that can really be expected here. Okay. Kind of working. Now, technically this means I'm flanking, but I think this is working fine. Yeah, look at this. I don't know why. I just assumed we were going to lose. Okay, there's more of them coming in. See, look, they've tripped in, like, they, like, sort of trickled in here. They've trickled in, meaning that we're able to sort of close ranks, make sure we don't take too many losses. It's comparable size. Now, problem is, I don't know how to... Okay, we need to advance slowly. Because according to Mr. Rogers, probably Doctor, to be fair, Encyclopedia of Medieval Warfare and Military Technology, we are only good. These troops are only effective when commanded to hold positions. We did lose 5 troops. Well, 9 in total. So that works though. Okay. We definitely need to start upgrading to infantry troops sooner rather than later. Like, there's only so long I can keep these guys alive for. Again, I want to be clear. Pretty much every treatise ever written says, like, don't trust common troops. You need them just to kind of fill the gaps, hold the line. That's it. They shouldn't move. They should never attack, really. There's a really nice book called European Warfare from 1350 to 1750. It's sort of outside the scope of the medieval era. It's sort of early modern. But that latter part is still technically in the medieval era, late medieval. And it goes into detail explaining how at this time period, cavalry is really the thing that you need. Infantry is your key part of defense. Let's go for tactics. Okay, one thing we want to avoid is anyone with archers. Okay, there's some looters. Here we go. All right, let's do this. Same strategy. Same strategy. So, F8, shield wall, get in. I'd love to divide up some of these guys that have actually shields at the front. Okay, nice, they did that. Okay, is there anywhere I can sort of... I could probably go up here. Let's get them out of the shield formation for a sec. And they're probably going to come at us from up here. So if we can, we want to be over here because it'll shield us from there. Skirmishing. Damn, it turns out tactics actually work. I'm not sure why, like, they're not running. It's probably because of the formation they're in. They've been told to sort of keep the formation. Okay, this is good, this is good, this is good. All right. Shield wall. And how do I tell them to stop? Face the enemy. All right. Now, we're using the terrain as told. I'm just going to hold the flank here. I'm not going to flank. There we go, lads. Okay, we have been flanked. Now, that's not good. Our formation's broken. I broke the formation. Help! Help, boys! Help! See, what's happened here is we've been flanked on the left-hand side, which is not what we want to see. But there we go. We win. Also very painful. Okay, I think it's fair to say, staying tight formation, we're good. Let's move on to trained infantry. I'm gonna have to win a couple more battles to get the money for this. So we're gonna go all infantry still. We're not quite ready for archers yet. Weirdly enough, there's not that much historical information or treaties. So there are descriptions of battles. There's of information, and I'll go more for description of battles later on. But I really did want to focus on like these treaties, you know, like these like instruction manuals of like how to win a war. And a key part was, if the company be little, stand thick. So if you only have a small number of troops, it's super important to like stay compact. Like everything, cannot stress this enough. Ooh, Sorrow's War. What? Young husband started to fight for you. That sucks. Dismount, burst into tears, take your head in your hands. There you go. That's what Napoleon, like, he was good at like remembering each of his troops. You know, not all about battles. So using the historical sources and their instructions, we kept close together. We didn't break ranks, and slowly but surely improved the quality of our troops. Some troubles had when the enemy has archers or ranged troops and we don't have any shields, but now we do. So now we move on to the second stage, which is trained infantry. How should we use trained infantry? Unfortunately, this happened. We are not ready for this. Okay. They have infantry rate. Well, you know what? This is gonna be a great lesson on why it's super important to have cavalry as well as infantry. We have some decent troops. I've been fighting and leveling up. They're not ready for this. Okay. This is not good. Okay, shield wall. Is there only like, so the key part is we do not want to be flanked. I mean, there is a river in front of us. That might be able to help. Are there any big rocks? We're breaking every rule here. We can't follow most of the rules. We don't have enough men for a reserve. I mean, it just says if they're little, stand thick. Maybe it was referring to the size of the men. We don't know. All right, I think we're going to have to rush for this part here so we don't get completely destroyed. Oh, man, they're coming immediately. All right, the cavalry's coming. We did not get there in time. That should hopefully slow them down a little bit. Yep. They're still going to get a charge off. Oh, no. Oh, no. Right, I can't have cavalry yet. No, come on, come back. That's a lot of axes. Ow. We actually, we need to back away from them here. I've made a massive tactical problem because they are gonna turn around and they're gonna fire arrows into our flanks. Oh no! Stay close, boys. Here we go. I'm down. Let's see how they get on. Infantry are charging. No, the morale. No, stand thick, boys, stand thick. Oh no! Did we even get a single kill? Oh man. We got 4 kills. I mean, just... Oh, okay. Well, back to square one then, eh? Oh. So we got flanked. They were able to disorganize us. I died, so there was no way of me giving orders. Just a sin, really. Alexander Hannibal's lost his calculating trait. Yeah. Wonder why.
Leif didn't record a voiceover for this part, so I'm jumping in to say he redid everything, and now he's got the infantry again.
I think maybe if I try and get them to stand closer together, it'd be more of a wedge. Obviously, we're limited by the game. Like, I can't... Oh, this is going to be a test now. I need to get it to work here. If I don't, we are going to be hurt. All right, so F6. That's a wedge. Can I tell them to get closer? I don't think we can. Well, I have to try it out, unfortunately, but I think this is a bad idea. I mean, look at the difference between how compact that is, which has been essentially winning our battles and stopping casualties is the big one, versus that. It's going to slow the game down a little bit, or the battle a little bit. What I'm going to do is get us up onto a hill. And then I want to go down the hill in the skein formation. I think that's how we're going to do this. Now, the skein was, well, I should say the wedge, was useful to the Normans because they were able to push into the Anglo-Saxon shield wall. The Anglo-Saxons, however, did successfully defend against the Norman cavalry and the Norman infantry. It wasn't a surefire thing. They were holding very, very well. A shield wall is incredibly hard to break, particularly the Anglo-Saxon and Viking shield walls of the time. But what did make it work was the feigned retreat, which is something that I'm going to be trying a little bit later on in this video. But for now, here's the skein. God, it'd be so much better if we just everyone clumped together a little more. You know what I might try and do? What if we got everyone into a shield wall and then into a skein? I'm trying to get cute with it now. All right, so shield wall. Okay, we're gonna hold here. Now we go into skein, and we are going to push in. So we're going to engage the enemy with F4, and immediately the formation breaks. They still should be in a skein, but look at that. They're trying to do the skein. Yeah, it's just not quite working. They must think I'm a little bit useless, my troops. Just kind of standing behind them, like taking stock of the formation. But that is so much more secure. Look. Now the only problem is this advanced thing I'm telling them to do. It means they push forward, but it means they're constantly pushing forward, which means that they run to the nearest guy. So they are splitting up the formation, which does break the... Oh, sorry. Involved myself technically as a cavalry charge, which does contradict what we've been told here. So the Orderic Vitalis, very interesting. This is not going to work in Bannerlord. Okay, one thing. I've got one more thing I can try. This comes from the Tactica. I don't speak Greek. Tactica, I'm going to call it. Of Leo VI. Also known as Leo the Wise. So this comes from, again, another Byzantine Empire. This one was heavily inspired by Maurice's edition. Again, these are the emperors I'm talking about. It most likely wasn't them that wrote it. They might have informed it. There's some debate, scholarly debate as to whether or not they wrote it. More likely a general did on their behalf, these sorts of things. But I'm just going to call it what it's called in academic texts. Let's find some more looters. And I've got another thing I want to try. So the problem with these mountain bandits is they have cavalry, and they're quite formidable. We aren't ready to fight cavalry yet. Well, we learned that the hard way, didn't we? Cavalry very, very, very good because they run fast and they can disorganize troops. Contrary to popular belief, a horse will not throw itself at, well, I say, it's a bit of a generalization, but generally speaking, most horses, damn near all horses, war horses even, would not throw themselves into a solid, thick block of men. They just wouldn't do that unless they could see through them, unless there were holes in there, unless there were gaps, then they would charge through. Or frankly, unless you do get some war horses, a little bit of late lore. My mother grew up with horses. Her father was one of the last like real horse traders and breeders, where you have like your entire business wealth on one horse, right? And then you sell it, and you get one more horse, and you train it. So they, yeah, so a little bit of lore there. Ooh, we're gonna be outnumbered for this one. Okay, so here's what I wanted to try. I don't know if I'm gonna try it on this one, but we're gonna do it anyway. So we are going to get these guys. They're all gonna be infantry. We're gonna have the vast majority of our troops in the center, so 10 roughly, and then we're gonna have 4 on each flank. It's like concave fronts. Have your fronts be concave. So we're going to try and do that. Problem is, selecting is rather tricky here. How do I get them to face a different way? I think they have to, unfortunately. Okay, unfortunately, I think this is the best we're going to get. I want them to be concave, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. That's a lot of troops coming our way. So the hope is that I want it to be concave. This is the best we're going to get. Ideally, we'd line them up this way, but I don't know that I can... How do I get them to, like, you know, change the direction? Like, the only thing I can get them to do is face the direction of the enemy. Okay, the hope is that they come in here, right? They charge right into the center and they don't split off to the sides. If they split off to the sides, we die because we've been flanked. All right, we do a little bit of skirmishing. Okay, it looks like they are splitting off. That's not terrible, provided we win our flank. We've now basically created different flanks. And the hard thing is for me to be able to determine when to get these guys to flank. So you are winning. You've won. Okay, so now, you lot... move there. All right, this is... I need you to advance. I need you to advance. I need you to advance. Engage, F4. Okay, that kind of worked. So what we did there was just split them up. Again, ideally wanted it to be concave so we can push inwards. But the fact that we had a superior front on this side meant that these lot could take out their troops and then push in the back. Again, it's hard to do with very few troops, but it did kind of work. And we do have a couple of elite units now. All right, for this next lot, I need to push over here. We are going to be doing some archers. Now, this one is also about the Battle of Hastings. Battle of Hastings is really interesting because it's quite well documented. This is coming from the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, which only mentioned the shield wall, but later we can read the common de Hastingae Proelio. Sometimes it's hard to tell what's an author and what's like a book. Stated that the archers began the battle, then the footmen advanced, and then the mounted knights. Back to the Tactica of Leo the Wise, we have the idea that there's that skirmishing force that begins, right? So the idea is that you want your skirmishers in front. That's your bowmen, that's others. They fight, then they retreat behind the more heavily armed footmen. Obviously, this all changes when you start to consider things like cavalry. But again, we'll get to that. And then later on, we'll get to some slightly funkier strategies that we use in history, which might be a little bit trickier for us to use. Now, I'm not doing that again. I'm getting caught up by 40 deserters. Damn, battalion heroes just straight away? I'll take it. I don't have enough money. Okay, well, we need to sell whatever we have. There we go. When we get to larger armies, we'll be able to use this a bit more effectively. Here we go. This is an incredible discovery. Okay, all right, so I figured out how to stretch them out. Look at this. Yes. Okay, we've got a nice open field here, which, well, would be bad for the peasants, but good for us. Oh, I'm so excited. We can actually try out what we want to do. Okay, archers should go there. Okay, I am going to stretch out our flanks a little more because 4 units just is not enough for a shield wall. So the idea is they come straight at me here and we have our archers here. Boys. Okay, which one are you? You're number 2. I need you to face the direction the enemy glares. Thank you. All right, no. Cool. Well, it's a good time as any to figure out how to do this in battle. Give me a second, lads. No, I've messed up. I've messed up badly. Oh, for God's sake. That's a very real problem with this, isn't it? All right, there we go. It's a very real problem with directing troops in the battle, isn't it? Okay, they're coming at us over here. There you go. That should do it. Okay, well. So now we get the bowmen to go behind. They need to run away. All right, and they go straight in. Look at that. It worked. The flank. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. All right, the real trick is going to be trying to do that against really good troops. Oh, we're clan 2-1. Okay, cool. that means we can get some more troops. So we definitely more infantry, and we need a couple more archers. Now, we're going to start to struggle to see the real impacts of this, because 14 troops against 48, it's going to be a little bit tricky. Like, they were wanting to surrender. But it does give me a chance to hone my skills when it comes to our little commands, eh? Now, what I'd love to do, and I don't know how, I would love to put, like, elite troops in one section, because you can see here I have some really good troops next to some not great ones. It's crazy that I've never done this before, you know? Hero troops captain. No. Ah, okay, cool. Give preference to troops at higher tiers. Look at that. There you go. This is so cool. Okay. And preference to troops with shields. So this is going to be our main front here. Let's drop that down a little bit. All right. So how we're going to stack up in future is we're going to have this lot forming a shield wall over here. Then ideally we would have this lot. They would also be doing a shield wall, but then we have our best troops in the center. One method I'm going to try and emulate is this inverse crescent. It's most commonly associated with Hannibal at the Battle of Cannae, when his troops would retreat this way, but we're going to be doing it a little bit differently. And the reason his worked really well is because it was very different to how most people operated, right? So he had his worst troops in the center, strong troops on the flank, and then naturally they would bow inwards, and then his flanks were there. So the Romans didn't even realize they were marching and pushing themselves into an encirclement. We're not going to be doing that. The reason I'm doing this is so that these front troops get engaged first. Obviously, we're going to put the archers out in front, and we'll go from there. Now, are they going to charge us? Because that obviously changes things, you know? Being able to hold this formation whilst moving forward is going to be incredibly difficult. And I also need to figure out how to make it so you guys turn around. Is it the other way around? Oh, for God's sake. I really need to get used to doing this. There we go. Now we wait. So, one thing that I now need to do is I need to adjust these lot to come over here, because they're going to be approaching from that direction, right? Weirdly enough, this was actually a historical formation. All right, I want to see this working, so let's get the archers back here. I've committed a cardinal sin as well. They shouldn't be firing at will. All right. In fact, let's get everyone to hold fire, even though that would be a really good idea. Okay, they are approaching my left flank. It's not ideal. Why are they rushing in? Because they're in a line, and a line... Okay, why are you running in? I didn't tell you to move. Okay, this is a problem. So, now they are there. What we want to do is push this lot that way, and we'd want to get our other lot over there. There you go. Look, they're collapsing inwards. So that works. And let's go into engage. So they should keep going on. Now, I want to try skirmishing. That's the next thing we need to try. Nice. Good job, guys. Obviously, that's, 4-1. We're going to have to start fighting some larger armies, really, to sort of get the sense for things. Because also, these guys are now getting to the point where they're quite well trained. Oh, we've got a leadership skill. Starting morale. When attacking, let's do that. So, conventional wisdom of skirmishing. You want to send out your skirmishers and then pull them back. Oh, do we dare? I don't have archers, right? We are going to do it. We're going to wait for day, and then we're going to go in. Oh, no, we don't. Oh, okay, well. That was anticlimactic, wasn't it? All right, here we go. Imperial Elite Cataphract. Now, this is going to be a test. We could lose everything here. In fact, my personal bet is that we will lose everything here. There's a couple of things I'm not doing well. But I'm trying to follow the idea that it's better to be attacked in good order que assailler en désordre, which is a little bit of French, than to attack in disorder. And that's from Honoré Bonnet, 14th century, right? So that's kind of the idea. So I think I didn't follow that when we last fought the deserters. I kind of went in and out, and we got a little bit messed up there. So the idea this time is we're going to put the archers on the front. They're probably going to get attacked by the cavalry, and I think just a solid shield wall will do us, with some slight bowing on the wings. Now, ideally, we get a good hill. This seems like a good hill. Yeah, it seems like a really nice hill, actually. So these are going to be our really good troops. Everything has to be a shield wall. All right, this is the formation we're going for. The big problem is the cavalry. Cavalry throws everything into disarray. I'm hoping that we'll be able to get some shots off when they crest that hill. But we're fighting some really good troops here. What the hell is shooting at? All right, just start firing archers, please. Please. How the hell can they see us? Big rule here. Again, Leo the 6th from the tactic. Choose the gun that gives you the advantage of the hill, the sun, and the wind. So we're trying to go for that. And a key part from the strategon is that a general needs to be able to see the entire battlefield, which is what I'm trying to do here. Now, I'm hoping our archers will do some damage here. Nice. We're going to withdraw the archers now. And now you can see that the horses have to go up the hill, taking the sting out the charge. And I'm hoping the archers can fire from behind. I'm personally going to try and protect the archers by standing in front of them with a shield. Because having a reserve might be a little bit complicated. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, we're getting flanked here. Now we want our center to advance. All right, we have just died, but I think we're in a decent place. That horseman is unfortunately doing a lot of damage to us. I think. Nice. Now I think everyone's just going to charge the problem. Yeah, it's the cavalry, man. They're right. Cavalry wins battles. It was good, though. It was a good interesting thing. When we push forwards down the hill, we're in a good place. And the archers got rid of one of the cavalry. That's actually Battle of, was it Crescent? Big thing for the English was that the English managed to beat the Genoese in a little range off. By all accounts, the Genoese crossbowmen did not do too well against the English longbowmen. And then the French troops had to charge up a hill, and they were massively slowed down. Okay, you see their shield wall have just broken? Yeah, because I told them to advance. And that's why they didn't take much damage. That's looking good. I'll tell you what, though. Maybe I discounted the boys too early. Well done, lads. Well done. Excellent. I got 6 kills myself. We did lose a good amount of troops there, but that is not bad. So we can see we got the most amount of kills. It was actually the Imperial Veteran Infantrymen. Medicus have a lot of them. A good 8 kills there. So before they were able to engage us, we killed a quarter of their army, which is really, really important. And then what was the damaging thing to us? The heavy horsemen, the legionaries. Yeah, mostly the heavy horsemen. All right, very good. All right, let's level you up. Well done, lads. All right, I'll take the prisoners. And there we go. Excellent. Now I just need to replenish my losses, which takes a long time. Okay, that's a lot of money just made. Okay, so general goes down is a really bad thing according to most historical sources. And so I've been losing consciousness a lot in these battles, which is not good. So let's get ourselves some slightly better armor and such, particularly a helmet. They don't sell helmets here? Oh, they do. Good. Then anything for our arms would be fantastic as well. And it's 19 armor. That's very expensive. Okay, that's good though. All right, there's one more strategy I want to try, which was described in a very cool cinematic way, which is having the same general idea, but instead of having a concave shape with infantry, we're going to have archers on the wings. I need to wait to not be wounded, though. Otherwise, I can't command my troops. There we go. All right, 25. Okay, that's quite a lot. You best back off. There's a dozen more just waiting after signal. It's very true. Oh my god, they've read the historical documents as well. That was one of the secret strategies, hiding troops. All right, well, you have to die now. You spoiled my video. Okay, so we're going to put everyone into this one group, all the frontline fighters. This is going to be tricky to do, I think. Shield wall. And then the idea is we will have 2 sets of archers on either side that are meant to shoot inwards, right? Okay, let's bring back these troops here. They're meant to shoot inwards. Presumably, they would be a bit further away. So we're going to try and put them here and here and put these troops right up front. So it's not going to be perfect. Again, we don't have that many troops, but that is the plan. So that's number 6. Probably should have changed this a little bit. Run back. So 5 and 6, I got to remember that. So the reason I'm pulling them back is I do not want them getting engaged too early. Frankly, if I can, I'll do a fighting retreat backwards. Is that possible? Fall back. So if I do F5, will they just run? Yeah, but I want you to face the enemy, though. Okay, they don't do that, which is a problem. All right, let's push up the arrows. There. And I can't quite see is the problem. There. So that has worked. They're engaging the infantry. And now, there you go. Look at that with a little V. Look, they can just shoot inwards. Look at that. That works really nicely. And then there's only one guy left. Look at... What? Lads, friendly fire. Look at that. All right, that was excellent. Okay, I think we're ready to upgrade ourselves to cavalry. For that, I'm going to have to win a load of tournaments to increase my renown. I'm not too far off, to be fair. I'm only showing off the battles in which, like, I get to use the tactics. Mainly because it's, like, 12 troops and it's not worth it. Oh, sweet. Tight formations or loose. Well, obviously, we're going to go tight formations. I'm reading my... Look, hey, infantry, I'm fully convinced of this. If you have a loose infantry formation, you must have a plan. Because otherwise, you're going to get, like, got. You know, I'm not sure that Hannibal and Alexander and the rest of them ever had to do this. But here we are. God, that's a lot of lag. Christ, what's going on here? That's not fair. He's lag switching. Jesus. Oh my god, the input's so delayed. I actually can't. I have to do it about a couple of seconds before. All right, I'm just gonna keep running around him. I think I don't really have it. Okay, yep, nice. Look how delayed it is. All right, let me just. God, my computer's freezing. I can't find any historical documentation what to do when your computer freezes. Oh, well, let's just hope. He's throwing axes at me. All right, look. Fortunately, I think it's the last tournament we're going to have to do. But it was fine until now. Oh. Well, that's not good. Right. Oh, we have enough anyway. Okay, nice. Right, that's good. Tactical reload of the game, I think. Okay, so cavalry. Cavalry super, super important. I already spoke about that. Back to Maurice. We're saying cavalry should hit from the rear or side, not head on. That's quite important. By the way, you might be wondering, why am I going so heavily for that's a lot of Sea Raiders from Maurice and the otherwise. The reason for that is because they have very detailed descriptions and it reads more like a guide versus like Sun Tzu's like broad tenets. You know, this one's like, hey, in this situation, do this and this and this. More of a treatise than anything else, and it's very well written. And frankly, it's just fun to read. So looking again at the European Warfare book, from 1350 to 1750, cavalry is the thing that decides battles. The author describes them as the sword and the shield of the army. The shield being the infantry and the sword being the cavalry. The general theory is that infantry, so you've got skirmishers in front, they skirmish with other skirmishing troops to try and get an advantage, to try and harass and gain an advantage later on in the battle, because as we saw with the V-shape, very, very effective. But the idea is that your cavalry takes out their cavalry. Couldn't pay all my wages, I'm poor. Okay, well, let me go sell my things. Your cavalry engages their cavalry, and then they will wheel back around to cause chaos. And there's a couple of different strategies for cavalry. First, we need the cavalry itself. Unfortunately for us, that means grinding, because we can't just bring in cavalry. So we go from Vlandian recruits to footmen to light cavalry to heavy cavalry. Now, there's a lot of stuff you can do with light cavalry versus heavy cavalry. I will say I don't think it's very well modeled in Bannerlord, like light cavalry versus heavy cavalry. We'll try it either way. Some specials towards the end, but generally we want this vanguard to hit the flanks. Let's grab as many as we can. What's our limit? To check that out. There's so many Sea Raiders. All right, I'm gonna have to fight them. The limit is 74. Oh, look, hang on, we got Vlandian squires immediately. Then I don't need you because I'll just run around getting Vlandian squires. Okay, all right, let's do this. It's actually been a while since I fought an actual battle. It's mostly just been, mostly not been doing that. I think we go back to Old Faithful of this. It's actually kind of cool because ordinarily in Bannerlord I would just be like, let's just go, let's do it. Whereas I actually feel myself like going, all right, cool, let's sort of like by default, let's sort out what we're doing here. It'd be nice if I could save deployments because this does take a while. All right, so generally speaking, we have a right flank and we have a left flank. Wait, what? Okay, there it is. So this is going to be our ideal sort of setup. Bit egregious me to sort of push it all into, like, to split cavalry into flanks. But this is, I think, how I'm going to be going. I think it gives us all of the advantages without any of the disadvantages. So we've got our, what should be a tight shield wall, which unfortunately they're not really doing, are they? That is way too loose to be a shield wall. This happens when they put them into a line. That's better. All right, hopefully do some damage. Oh, one thing I wanted to try out, actually, is the archers. Like, I think if I could potentially get them to skirmish. Okay, it's unnecessary now. Okay, let's get the archers back. The archers back here. They seem unwilling to engage us for some reason. Oh, that man's on his own. That's brave.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Well, that's not good. What a shot! Okay, that means everyone charges in, which is not what I want to see, especially with these very vulnerable knights as they are, the squires. Everyone's charging. The archers are still trying to skirmish. We are fine. Generally, we're staying as a block. Damn, I was getting lazy. I should have been a bit more diligent. But the key part is, this is on realistic difficulty. We're really not losing that many troops at all. Huh? They had Vlandian knights just kind of chilling there. I mean, okay, we'll take it. They just had banner knights. That feels really convenient game. They've got gallants here already as well. So we do have cavalry, but we need a lot more of them, and they also take a good amount of time to train up from levy status from the recruits. And so we have to run around going after these little looter stuff. The reason being, we need to level them up, but we can't afford to lose any of them. And so it's a long, slow slog as we go through and string a couple of victories under our belt and grabbing Vlandian squires and gallants wherever we can find them. All right, we are very much at the point now where looters aren't going to cut it anymore. So we have two choices. Either we take out caravans or we take out lords. Either way, the main problem is previously it's not quite hands-off tactics, but we set it up well and we win, right? That's the idea. But unfortunately now with cavalry charges, I've got to learn very quickly how to control that, especially following the historical sources that I've found. All right, we found a caravan master. We are going to start a war. We outnumber them 2-1, but I think it's a good way of just testing what we're doing here. We have a description from Christine Despizan from, oh god, Livre de Faits d'Armes et de Chevalerie. 1410, really pushing that whole medieval thing. This is late medieval. But the idea is that you want your cavalry, it's a rough quote, should be set on the wings somewhere behind the foot. So that is exactly what we're going to do. Controlling 2 wings of cavalry, I think, is going to be basically impossible for us, but we're going to try. Now, the big problem here is here that they are most likely not going to charge us. I don't know what we're doing if that happens, to be honest. But this is a very favored setup, I think. Okay, they have horse archers. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get, is it 6 and 7? So we're going to get all cavalry sets to follow me, and we're going to go and engage those horse archers. Bear in mind, I am not naturally a cavalryman. So my riding is really bad. Keep eyes, we've got to make sure we don't get drawn into a false retreat. Okay, we didn't manage to get anyone there. We're really hampered by my abilities. Look how slow I am. You can see these guys really want to charge. I'm not good enough at riding. All right, we'll stay on the wings, though. It does look like they're going to be... Okay, here's what we're going to do, then. We're going to go 1, go and engage. 2, go and engage. 3, go and engage. Get the archers. I'd love to tell them to be able to, like, just go skirmish, you know? I'm going to tell the archers to charge. Not with the intention for them actually charging, but the intention of them skirmishing. All right, we have some caravan guard here. Hopefully, if I can get close enough, my boys will actually charge him. Again, can't get drawn in. Oh, they keep their formation when they do this? Oh, that's brilliant. It's going to take them a couple years to get there, but that's the ideal. Can we just about see him? At least we know our skirmishing troops are going to skirmish. Now, what I'm doing is I'm putting a cavalry screen in. It's very important to have a little cavalry screen just in case you miss... Basically, if you mess up and your skirmishers get charged by cavalry or by other skirmishers, then that's when you need to dive in with cavalry. Like this. Again, it's despicable how slow I am. I'm gonna have to get a better horse. Our archers are able to take them out. Oh, no. My boys are fighting the wrong guys. The cavalry's coming towards us. All right, we've got to engage the cavalry. That's the rule. We've got to drive their cavalry from the field. Unfortunately, I'm not very good at fighting. It's really important we drive their cavalry from the field. It's also really important I don't die, otherwise our tactics go. Okay, our infantry is still in a solid block. Our cavalry is charging. You can see now that they are isolated. You don't really want them charging head on. And that's from Maurice. He was right. All right, it's not going to matter for this test, but what I am going to do is I'm going to buy some very, very expensive equipment to keep myself alive. I am dying way too quickly in these engagements. I need a better horse as well. We're losing a couple of Lanian knights. Again, the cavalry just got isolated. All right, let's see what they can do. That should finish it. Yep. Honestly, the legionary mostly doing the damage there. It's a lot of good gear, though. Oh, your Empire troops asked to take charge of the Barrier of the Empire in enemy's ranks, declaring the feeling due to the kin even if they fought in a bad cause. Sure. Don't know why I'd care. We've got to get a lot of money from this. That's ideal. Okay, so generally speaking, I have been hitting caravans like this and getting the money from it. I think we're ready to go against something more our size. This is interesting. So these guys are rebels. We are outnumbered. They have a lot of ranged troops, but they don't have any cavalry. I think this, if I do this correctly, we should destroy them. That's the hope. I think I'm gonna do it. One thing I will say is I've been trying to keep everything faithful to the base game here. That's why I'm not doing this in like just custom battles, because I think I want to do it within the context of Bannerlord itself. I have admission to make. I have used console commands to give myself 100 riding. The reason for that is because I just couldn't. Like, it's hard to get me to tell the cavalry where to go without leading them directly. And they were just like at a trot, and we could never quite get the same impact. So that's, you know, that it is what it is. So I'm going to deliver my demands, yield or fight. Let's do this. Let's attack them. All right. Nice open field. That's actually really good for us with our superiority of cavalry. The plan is very simply, we have a slight incline as well. The gods are good to us today. We're going to use our standard strategy that we've sort of developed here using historical... I was about to say scriptures, but I think we can't really have two flanks of cavalry. As much as I would love to have two, like, flanks, because you need two flanks of cavalry. If I put all my cavalry on one flank, then the other one would get taken out. But for an army this size, I think having only one flank of cavalry is not going to be too bad. I think that's what's going to happen here. So one problem we may run into here is they have a lot of ranged troops. So I don't want my ranged troops to get too bogged down. So is that them over there? Very far away. Now the idea is they ideally just charge straight here. We have our best troops on the middle now because of the whole leveling up thing, and generally we've been averse to conflict, averse to losses. Sorry, it means that we've been in a decent position. God, it's very far away, isn't it? Also, it's useful that because I have a really good PC, I can load all of these troops. So at the end of this video, we're going to load in as many as I can physically do in one battle, and we'll just see what happens. So are they not going to be I don't think they're going to fight us. I think they're going to sit back. We'll have to see. I think they're going for the trees to stop our cavalry charge. That's very smart if that's the case. I really hope not. I hope they charge because otherwise it's going to take a really long time to get there. Did you Did you forget who you were? Did you get pushed along with them? Look, look, they thought they were infantry. Yeah, I don't think they're charging me. Okay, so we're gonna get everyone to charge just to get them in range, and we'll get the cavalry to follow us, just because otherwise we are gonna be sitting here for a real long time. I don't have any historical sources for how to attack up a hill beyond the Norman wedge and feigned retreats to bring them off the hill. I don't want to do that because that seems like a really bad idea. You see, now I can actually lead the pack a bit. Okay, enemy troops are just here. We want to hide back here. All right, we want our footmen to go here. Oh my god. No, they're all recruits. Okay, quickly. Go here. 3. Go here. 1. I need to make sure everyone's in shield wall. No, not loose formation. Not loose formation. That loose formation bad. Look. All right, now what we need to do is cavalry around the back. So we're going to loop all the way around and hit them. There you go. I mean, it's the most well-known tactic, isn't it? Cavalry charges into the back of enemy. But the key part with the cavalry charges, you do not get bogged down. You push out and through and around. And the key part is you want to disorganize the troops. Okay, so now our formation predictably has collapsed. So we need them to engage. Our archers have no abilities up here, so let's move them up there. And same thing, swing out wide with our cavalry. Take out the skirmishers. And what we're doing there is keeping our troops intact with their formation and ridding them of theirs. Now, to be clear, these are recruits. Like, we could have just charged at them. But the key part is here. We're trying to preserve life. Look, these guys are very slowly advancing. Right, let's get the cavalry to charge in. They don't need to follow me anymore. This is where light cavalry is super useful to just finish them off. Heavy cavalry are shock troops. Light cavalry, very good at A, skirmishing, B, distracting enemy cavalry, because you don't want your light cavalry engaging heavy cavalry ever. But that's a big victory. We lost 0 troops. I mean, we got 6 guys went down. Otherwise, we're all good. Yeah, you can leave. I've just ruined that rebellion. I think it's time for our final challenge. I'm going to see if we can find a large Imperial army. Because these guys, I think, yeah, they're all going to be weak. Okay, there's an army over there. Here we go. Let's do this. Outnumbered, almost 2 to 1. Let's see what we can do here. Ooh, do not like this time of day. I'm like, here's the thing. Will they charge us? Because there's little to no point setting all this up if they just don't charge up. To be fair, you could say that's one thing Bannerlord gets like correct is it's really hard. I mean, hey, it's like that Mr. Frenchman that I quoted earlier. It's a lot better to defend in an organized manner than attack disorganized. Even though, you know, getting charged is really no one's idea of fun. Let's see. This would actually be a fantastic place to hold them. Please charge me. Okay, cavalry's going to follow me. We're going to try and engage their cavalry. But look, that'd be such an amazing... It's like a nice divot as well. I don't think they... Are they? There might be some cavalry coming towards us. You know what that means. Cavalry, take to the field. Let's do it. Got to win the cavalry battle. Those are horse archers, so they'll probably wheel back around. So ordinarily you drive them from the field, which means literally pushing them far enough away that they're not going to be able to hurt you. Oftentimes, like, away, like they wouldn't rejoin battle. Ow. I hit the brakes on my horse too early. Oh, that's to target it. So we can literally tell them to go and charge there, for example. No, there we go. Back around. Keep eyes to not get drawn into the main army. We get drawn into the main army, we're committing the sin that enabled the Mongols to take out Europe and Asia and everywhere else they went, really. Sitting there like, men, they are going to fake a retreat. Do not attack them. But to be fair, feigned retreats are really hard to pull off because a feigned retreat can turn into an actual retreat real quick. Now, it looks like the archers are looking at us. these horse archers are really annoying. Surprised my guys aren't killing them. Damn light cavalry! We've been caught out! Come on, boys, get him, get him, get him, please get him, please get him. None of you? So we're at risk of getting taken out by the archers here. So I kind of want to stay below this hill. Okay, I think they are pushing us. Oh, we're doing it! It's a fake retreat! Ow! They did actually follow us there. I have very low health is the problem. And by the nature of the cavalry, I have to lead from the front. It doesn't help that I suck at combat in this game. Get him, boys. Get him, get him, get him. Nice. I'm not willing to maneuver until we have these cavalry dead. I mean, remember what happened in that 20 versus 40 match at the start of the game? That was really bad. And the main reason was we couldn't move forwards because the cavalry were gone. So now we've driven the cavalry from the field. So there's no cavalry left. Let's get the horsemen to stay there. Question is, are they going to attack us? I mean, they have the numbers. All right, let's push up to this hill. That number's getting smaller. Does that mean they're approaching me? Well, obviously, but they like... So I was like, I swear I can hit cavalry. It's just a horse. No, they're going up and back. Yeah, we're going to push up to her. Where are you going, archers? Cavalry, cavalry, cavalry. We do not want to engage. All right, so now we're going to send our skirmishers, protected by our cavalry, as well as those infantry over there, to skirmish a little bit. Let's see. I want to make sure they're not getting shot. All right, this is going to be my magnum opus. So I really need to make sure I do not get impatient, even though they're taking ages to get over here. Do I want to put the archers up on the hill? I think I do. Skirmishing, let's do it. Put the horsemen there for a sec. Do a little skirmishing. Are they charging us? All right, we have our formation set up. This is going to be a bit of a slog. All right, now let's hope they push in formation here. Over the hill. If I die, it's going to be all for nothing. So I need to just kind of gently peek. All right, if we can, let's get the archers in front. All right, keep the formation. This is very cool. Okay, now, I can't remember which one it was, but there was one of them that said we needed to make sure that our archers, when battle was joined, were in the right position on a slight amount of high ground. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, now, cavalry, follow me. There we go. Our infantry's engaged in a concave fashion. Come on, cavalry, come on, cavalry, come on, cavalry. Keep you alive, keep you alive. Into their backs, cavalry. Disorganize them. Go, go, go. Hammer and anvil. Go, go, go. Now hit the archers. They're in the open. I'm going down, I think, but I'm down, but I gave my orders. The archers, yes, they thud into the cavalry thud into the archers. And we have a shield wall. Look, they even can-eyed them. They can-eyed the infantry. All overshot by archers. And very few losses against a numerically superior army. I'm very happy with that. Very happy indeed. Realistic difficulty as well. Oh, it's gorgeous. That's a thing of beauty, that. Dude, this game actually has a lot of strategic depth that I genuinely just wasn't using. I was an F1, F3 merchant. But that is gorgeous. 1 death, 10 casualties in total for 121 kills. And they had legionaries. They had, like, obviously there were still recruits and such, but I'm pretty pleased with that. There we go. Take a load of them, prisoner. There we go. Nice. Very nice indeed. I do think that Hannibal, or Alexander Hannibal Ibn Walid Bonaparte, I think he did very well there. How many men do you think my PC can simulate before it dies? That's the question I want to ask now. All right, I think I've got it on max. So it's 500 versus 500 will be enough. All right, let's do this. Let's go for a realistic distribution of troops on both sides. Or I could randomize. No, we'll do this. Let's yeah. There's so many troops here. I don't think I'm gonna be able to, like, this is when you need flanks. Okay, there's so many troops here. You would definitely need, like, in order to do this properly. Oh, so I'm getting the riders to follow me. The game's not even stuttering. I should do this more often. This is cool as hell. So what's that coming over the hill? The riders. Okay, so we need to challenge those riders. I'm starting to think, like, instead of being like, oh, let's see if these work, I'm starting to go, okay, this will work. I need to follow the scripture. Horse archers on the left! I've disrupted my own formations. Right, I need to drive off these horse archers for sure. Is that infantry coming over the hill? No, there's archers. And they got the high ground. Okay, horses need to follow me. Oh, look at that flank that's going to happen if I'm not careful. The problem is I can't maneuver past my troops. All right, we're going to make a decision here. Go and engage those guys. We have our archers in a much tighter block, which could be good or bad. Okay, and cavalry's pull back. Archers, get behind. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, it's looking good. Okay, I'm going to risk it here. I'm going to send all of my horses to engage on one flank. I think we can flank them here. Okay, let's send you, infantry, go and engage. Left flank, push up. This is the problem, this flank here. That's bad. Okay, we have been able to flank them, but they flanked us. Riders need to go and take out those lot there. There we go. Now we hit the back lines. It's chaos. We've been flanked, but so have they. It's a melee. There's no tactics. Fight. Just fight. Go, everyone in. Just go. We can't keep hold of it. Just live. Oh, I've been caught by my men. Run. Run for your lives. Just run. Retreat! Retreat! Fall back! A fantastic example of why not being able to see the top of the battlefield is such a massive disadvantage.
See, what Sir Leifington hasn't realized at this very juncture in time is that it is in fact not his lack of tactics or lack of following directions or scripture as he likes to call it. It is in fact the fact that he is absolutely shit. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Oh man, that's a lot of fun. I think horse archers were kind of key there. Yeah, they lost 15 horse archers, but dealt 38 kills. And their infantry did a lot more damage than we did. Wait, were we outnumbered? No, we were not. Oh, that's good stuff. Right, chaps, well, that was a lot of fun. If you want to see me do specific strategies, strange strategies throughout history in Bannerlord, that's something I would love to do. If you did enjoy, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye. My personal thanks to Aiden Clark, who is said to be 7 feet tall. Wright, who once killed a man with his bare thumb. Redguard76, whom I've been secretly in love with this entire time. And the Schmoobler, who needs no introduction. Also thanks to Crilly, Ghostwolf, and Jason White for being my Patreon supporters. Means a lot, guys.